Hello everybody, it is N, and today I'm doing a review of a book that I really wanted to read for the last while, and I got it, and I've read it, and I love it, and I'm happy, and I really think you guys are going to want to see it too, because it is Stephen King's The Outsider, the new book. It's awesome. So, this was announced, I believe, a couple months ago, in February maybe, or September? Not sure, I don't remember. I didn't pay attention to that on the website. But it was released in the last month. So it's very recently released. And I got it within 3 days at half price off, like everyone else. But I got a few couple dollars off because Costco's awesome. And it's awesome. Okay, so the plot of the book is basically a dude is convicted of a crime. And it's a terrible crime. So everybody is so mad at him, and they want to lock him away in jail. They want to have the death penalty for him. So everyone's against him, and it's so bad that like all the police, and it's also very incredibly important evidence because they have so much evidence against him. They have DNA. They have eyewitness testimonies. They have so much. They have like if this was real life, you wouldn't even you probably wouldn't need a trial. You could just lock this guy up right away. But there's so much evidence, and so they arrest him right in front of everybody else. And then they later on, he actually gets to testify, because before they wouldn't even they wouldn't let him testify. So now he's allowed to testify, and when he testifies, they find such perfect evidence that there's no way he could have been there. There's no possible way that he could have committed the crime, because he was so obviously somewhere else. There's video recording of him somewhere else. And so now there's this huge idea of what happens when you have a guy that has the perfect alibi against a guy that has, or against police that has the perfect evidence. So now they need to figure out what's going on. Obviously, there's something supernatural that's going on. And I'm not going to go too much into that unless you want me to. Actually, skip 15 seconds ahead. What was it? JKL. If you click the L button, it'll skip 15 seconds ahead, so you can just do that. I'll finish it in 15 seconds. 3, 2, 1, go. It's basically a magical dude that can shapeshift, and he turns into that dude with DNA, and it's really awesome because they kill him at the end and stuff like that. Okay, I'll stop now. It's a very strong book with a very good topic on top of it, because I've never thought of that before. What happens in that situation? Because it's so great. Okay, going through the book, there's an investigation that goes on because of this weird instance. There's this weird instance and this investigation, full-scale investigation. It's actually supposed to be dropped, but they still go on with it, and they discover so many new things that come up, and it's very interesting to see this unfold. There's a character from a different Stephen King book that shows up during the investigation. I forget who she is, but she's from the book, from the Mr. Mercedes trilogy, the Bill Hodges trilogy, and I've never read that trilogy, so I might have been spoiled, but she does show up. This is after the books, and she does show up, and she does help, and she's a vital part of it. So if you haven't read it, I would recommend actually sticking with the Mercedes it's up there, Mercedes trilogy before you read this one. But I didn't know about that because I bought it too quickly to hear any reviews about it, and I started it too soon. So I would recommend that because there's probably some spoilers in here. I wouldn't know, but there probably is. It's very well made. There's about 3 or 4 main characters. I would consider 2 of the main characters. It's the guy that leads the investigation against the guy, Ralph Anderson. He's the guy that leads the investigation against the one who committed the murder or whatever. And it's the person from the Mr. Mercedes trilogy, which is the second main character. And she doesn't show up until half the book's over, but she's very important. She is very important. So they go through the book, they go through investigation, and they start to find out there might be something. There's no possible way to explain this, except for one tiny little supernatural possibility. And so they end up going into that even though they don't want to. And that's my favorite part of the book, actually. Ralph completely will not accept the idea that there's something supernatural going on, because it defies all logic. So he refuses, and it's kind of the second main character's job to get him to convince him that this is the only possible option, and they need to go into it. So it's very, very well fleshed out, the characters. I love the characters. I was very, very attached to the characters, so, to say the least. And most people who complained about this book complained about how it wrapped up. At the end, they said it wasn't the most exciting wrap-up they've ever seen. And I have to agree. It's not the most exciting. But I'm not looking for exciting. This book isn't really exciting, honestly. It's not the fight scene, blah, blah, blah type of book. It's a supernatural. They're trying to solve a crime. And so the final scenes, as much as it's not exciting, like boom boom exciting, it's very stressful. Like it's really, really interesting, and they get through it. The evil person explains their reasoning for why they did it, and stuff like that. And it's very interesting to hear the reasoning. That's one of my favorite parts as well, to hear why they did it, and that's awesome. And they come home at the end, obviously winning. So I love this book from start to finish. It was so interesting. It actually took me very, very a little amount of time. It took me, what was it, like 8 days, 8 to 10 days, I forget, which is short for me, because this book is a solid almost 600 pages, 560 pages. So it's a long book, but it's very interesting. It's so constantly well made out. People also complain that the beginning is a little bit lagging. I don't see that at all. I love the middle. It's an investigation that completely makes up the middle, and it's so interesting. I haven't read too many crime novels or mystery novels, so this is one of my first ones, and it's awesome. It's a great start to it. I think it was very well tied together. The ending was very well tied together. The entire plot very well thought out, even though King says that he doesn't think out his plots. So I would give this book perfect, 100%, 5 out of 5. It's awesome. It's great. It's so good. I love it. It's probably actually my second or third favorite book by Stephen King. Second to Misery only, because Misery is awesome. I don't know about it, but because I need to reread that. I didn't read it very well first time, I guess. Listen to the review, though. You'll understand a little bit more. But it's probably my second or third right now, because it's so good. It's so gripping, so well done. The characters are awesome. The villain is so well made. Not very well made, but it's kind of tied together at the end quite well. So, and it's very interesting to learn about what he's done and why he's done it. So, that's the book. Thank you guys for watching so much. If you like this video, click the thumbs up button and like this video. And if you don't like this book, or want to tell me why you don't like this book, it's very important, let me know in the comments down below. If you agree, let me know. I'd love to talk to you guys. I reply to every single comment. And if you want to see more reviews, Stephen King reviews, I'm about to do a few other book reviews that are not Stephen King. Let me know in the comments down below. Also, click the subscribe button so that you will be able to see when it does come out. So, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later. Goodbye, guys.